Oh yeah, welcome back, Mere Mortalites, to another edition of the Mere Mortals in Motion. We've got week 8 today. If you're tracking at home, this is from the 25th of September to the 1st of October of 2023, where I'm going to be talking about the running phase. And this is week 8 of the 12-week running phase. Once again, I've done a bit of a why or a reason as to why I went into the running phase as my first phase for this particular annual year that I sort of set out some goals. So from a fitness perspective, and I thought, hey, look, I'll play back this through this sort of format. I'll put out lots of different details to get connected with different people who potentially can give me some feedback. If it helps out anybody in terms of these conversations, well, then amazing. And then we'll see from there where it goes. I've been learning from some of the feedback as well from people that I'm going to keep it quite short and to the point with running. I'll probably do away with a lot more of the details that's interspersed with some of the other training. And I might touch on that in later phases to come throughout the year. But this is a running phase and this is week 8. So in week 8 from the top, now Mondays supposed to be gentle runs, Wednesdays supposed to be tempo runs, Fridays supposed to be fast runs, and Saturdays or Sundays supposed to be the longer run. It's starting to go all over the place. I'm starting to just run almost when I feel like or when I need to or when life permits. But from the very top, overall in the week, I was able to get to 20 kilometers, which, look, awesome. I'm happy with 20 kilometers over that month. That precedes a couple of good months, 29 kilometers, and previously I think it was 21 kilometers. So keeping those numbers quite high. I'm not tracking to the amount that I've been trying to do as part of the plan. However, that's probably not the key focus right now, to be frank. So let's go into the actual runs throughout this week to sort of talk through. So Monday, nothing, no run. I didn't end up running. The first run ended up coming on the Tuesday, and I ended up doing a 4 kilometer in the morning. That was on a treadmill, so 6:23 per minute, 6 minutes 23 per kilometer run. This was just nice and easy, felt gentle. I was finding myself just sore, like legs were just sore, and that's probably a lot more to do with the other training that I'm doing, just normal day-to-day gym, than it was from running. But there we have it. The afternoon, this one was a fun one, and again, this comes to a learning point. So here's another learning point as we're going through this: is running with friends, running with other people. That seemed to be a lot more enjoyable than just running on my own, especially when it's outdoors. Treadmill, absolutely on my own. Let me just listen to something. Outdoors, though, it feels like, hey, I get more joy from running with other people. And this isn't a normal thing for me where I enjoy doing things with other people. So when it's so obvious here, I'll go, okay, yeah, got to listen to this. And so this is a run with a good friend of mine, and we ran 3.7 kilometers. And this is faster pace, 5:35 minutes per kilometer, at least for me personally. And so that's a double up. So that was on the same day that I ran that morning, that 4 kilometers. So it was a good 7 odd kilometers. The following day, so I've been trying to do these more heavier pack runs, these backpacks, sometimes in the mornings at 20 kilos, by afternoon might be a little bit less. So this particular one was a 2.5 kilometer, a little bit over 2.5 kilometer run. Now, this is more of the, hey, I want to do interval running, and I'm not being specific here on run 500 meters or run a minute and then, walk 30 seconds. This was more a run as far as I can possibly go, and then walk for a little bit, reset, go again. And that's at a 6:22 minute per kilometer pace. And then similarly in the afternoon, I then ran back home. I ran back to where I parked the car in any case for a 3 kilometer. And that was a much quicker 5:50 pace. I was running alongside with a few people from work during that time as well. So they probably gave the reason as to why I was running a little bit quicker, or perhaps took my mind off the weight that I was running with. But I do enjoy those. I do really enjoy those. However, I started to feel a little twinge in my feet, I guess, by the end of the day. And at least personally for me, that was 7Ks and another 5K. So it's sort of 12Ks within 2 days. And at least personally, that's starting to get quite high up there, just in terms of pain threshold, or at least tendon pain. There was a small workout that I did as part of a gym workout. In the end, it was around 1.6 kilometers. That was on the Thursday. And then I didn't end up running until the Sunday. And that was just an afternoon jog on the treadmill. Now, this was after, I'm going to call it out, many, many hours of painting. And so here's my other learning point, I guess, I'm finding in my takeaway as 8 weeks in with the running phase. So the more I do with running, the more I realize that if I want to get more and more volume, I do have to take away some other places. I just have to. And so there was probably 5 or 6 hours of painting that day. And that's an activity. But generally, I like to keep up my other gym training. So it's just normal weights training or Olympic lifting, that sort of example. And I'll train that still about an hour a day on top of then doing my running. And I just feel it. My legs really feel it. That this particular day, I was just absolutely wrecked. It was a smooth 5 kilometers in the treadmill. This was a 6 minute away pace. But I just felt it. I just felt tired and drained from it. And as I go on, I need to really think through when I'm doing a running phase or when I'm trying to really optimize for a running, is it really best to be doing all these extra things? Well, look, the answer is no. But at one point, what's the balance? What's the lever where I go, okay, I'm happy enough to take away from these other places that I train in, which I really enjoy, to focus on this particular running phase or this optimization. Going back to my original, why the whole purpose here was to run more minutes on feet, more kilometers, week on week. And largely I'm succeeding in doing that. And so when I look at it objectively right now, I go, well, it's kind of fine that I'm doing the other training because ultimately I'm improving the fact that I'm doing more running and more minutes and more kilometers. So hooray, I'm doing that. But potentially in the future, and this is maybe to yourselves, mere mortalites out there, questioning if you're specifically targeting, say, a marathon or a distance or time, okay, then it starts changing the dialogue of what you're optimizing for. And then perhaps I'd be looking at this and reflecting on it in slightly different ways. So once again, overall, week 8, 20 kilometers, running slightly off kilter with the plan, but it was enjoyable runs, nothing that made me really want to stop and not do. However, the Sunday treadmill run, that was a big ask after all that painting. So yeah, watch out for the extra activities. Memorial, thank you for that. Once again, you can support all of the methods that out there. Specifically though, sending through a boostergram through podcasts out there like Fountain, Customatic, etc. You can send through a message with boostergram with some satoshis attached. I've also been seeing people sending through messages directly in our Instagram and in other places. That's also awesome too if you want to reach out that way. We can communicate. In fact, hopefully in the months to come, I'll start doing some interviews with some people who've been reaching out in the local area just for fun and talking about obviously running, as this is the key focus for this particular phase. For now, the Immortalites, I hope you have enjoyed taking away some learnings, or if you have some learnings for me, give it back. That's all. One out.